Chad occasionally. Just occasionally. We are live. Hey, everybody. We should be live now. Evening, everybody. We have got Ron or Spirit Guide is his cash name on the show. Talk about Geooh GO tonight, the app, the Android app, Geooh GO, as I drink from my casting mug. To talk about the Geooh GO app that Chad's been working on. I'm an Apple user, so is Jesse, but Chad is not.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Chad's been playing with it. We're going to learn all about it.
Gotta be droid.
You guys have any questions for Ron? Give us a call, 808-468-7924, 808-GOT-SWAG. We're going to start just about now. Chad, you all set to go? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let me just make sure. Jess, you okay?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. You running out right now? When are you going?
No, in a few minutes.
Okay,
It just got super echoey.
You got super echoey, or I got super echoey?
You did.
Chad, am I echoing to you?
No, she's don't worry. She's gonna leave in the middle of the sponsors.
I like to do that to you guys. Sorry.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's 8:30, which means it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name's Scott Burks. We got Shorty that's in the next room, and we've got, to my virtual left, my co-host, Chad, 427.
Howdy, y'all. Let's Geooh GO.
Geooh GO. Tonight's episode 706, recorded live on February 23rd, 2022, is the Geooh GO discussion. Phone lines are open. Just give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. And for you international callers, you can call us free via the web at callinstudio.com/show/GCPC. But first, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. Jess, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Did you get your 2 for Tuesday?
did.
Yeah. Did you?
Okay. Yes. I went to 2 events.
Yeah. Oh,
We had to go pretty far.
we need to go far to go get 2 parking grabs.
Mm.
Here nor there. Chad, before we do, we got to talk about Patreon, Chad.
Oh, yeah.
Patreon. Guys, costs a lot of money to make this show work. We can really use your help. There's 2 ways you could help this show out. First, you can go to PayPal and make a one-time donation. It's paypal.me, PAL.me/the Geocaching Podcast, and make your donation just once. Whether it be $5 or $50, doesn't matter. Go straight to the bills. Or Chad,
Mm-hmm.
you become a patron of our show, Chad. Like Houston, Texas, Dave. He out of Houston. He's shockingly out of Houston, Texas.
Shocking.
Sent us a really nice note. Made me laugh. Actually, made me giggle. He actually said he finally decided he was going to knuckle up to the bar and join the Patreons, as I say every week. He was done being a freeloader. Decided he wanted to join the club, so he did.
Thank you, Dave.
He enjoys all the spoils that come with being a patron, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Look at this, Chad. Right here, I got a next grouping out to go to patrons. That's all the patrons right there. We got DeBlunk 194, Terre Haute, Indiana, Chad.
Oh, yeah.
Terre Haute, Gold Star.
That's right.
Love our Gold Star patrons.
Haven't been to Terre Haute in a while.
Yeah, we've been to Terre Haute. We've been there because I just love saying it. I love saying that name. So
Got to eat at Larry Bird's restaurant there.
yeah. So extra video, extra audio. Oh, sorry, Jess. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Moga's going to be pretty close to Terre Haute this year.
Yeah. Extra video, extra audio, only available to our Patreon members. We've got stickers and pat tags and coins available to our Patreon members, depending on your tier. So, guys, a lot more fun on the other side of the paywall. Houston Dave realized it. DeBlunk realized it. They know. And so do all the countless other patrons. Guys, you want to join them, you go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast.
Listener feedback.
I hit the wrong button, Chad.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
Tonight's we're sponsored by Logwork. What was that? Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. The logbook designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go cache than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine written for geocache. Wait, I said that all wrong. Right words, wrong order. Let's try it again. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com.
And by the Maxud's Body Company. Maxud's Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Be Gone, soap, itch spray, and 2-cent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Maxud's Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are always made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And by Arted Crafted. Arted Crafted creates unique geocaching themed tees and custom designs for you or your geocaching group. With adult sizes ranging from small to 5XL, if you have an idea for a shirt design and cannot find it, you've come to the right place. Please give us the opportunity to show you how we can enhance your caching experience with your own custom design. Visit them at artedcrafted.com. That's ARTEDCRAFTED.com.
And finally, by pattags.com. For all your swag and pattag needs, visit our website to get creative help, to trade or log tags, or to purchase your own personalized pattags. With over 43,000 tags to collect, pattags.com is everything you need to start your pattag obsession. Visit them at pattags.com. That's PATHTAGS.com.
And as always, Chad, you can find links to our sponsors on our website or
in our show notes.
In our show notes. So, Chad,
Mm-hmm.
I got an email from the Palace
Really?
of Destiny. The
We got
Palace
a new
of
room
Destiny. A new room open, Chad. Now, anybody,
Oh.
for anybody who doesn't know, back in 2021, during the pandemic, 2020 and 2021, more 2020, we had Saturday nights. We did our Saturday nights antisocial every Saturday night. We got together on mics and we talked to people. Had the phone lines were open. If you never joined us, shame on you. It was a lot of fun. But one thing we did on Saturday nights is we did an online escape room. We found an online escape room based out of California that would open doors and to more rooms. I think we've done already, 40 some rooms, Chad? Something like that, right?
Yeah, and it's in the upper 40s, I think.
So a new room has opened, Chad. And get this. We've always said, how is this? Remember, Chad, at the end of every room, there'd be a little note?
Right.
So the email says, Chad,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody who has done this with us will be excited for this. Anybody else, I apologize. With the penultimate chapter to this long-awaited adventure finally here, the Knights weren't ready for this to end. The penultimate, Chad.
Yeah. So we got this one and another one, right?
And that's it.
And then that's it. Ooh.
And then that was it, Chad.
They gonna stump us
What?
finally? Are they gonna stump us finally?
I don't know. They haven't stumped us yet. But
They
how about
haven't.
that? How crazy! We're finally gonna get an answer to what it is.
Have to go back and read through.
I
all
know.
the,
I know. We're gonna have to go through it all. I know. So I think I was talking to Jess. So I think what we're gonna do, Chad,
Mhm.
because obviously, now this is the free version of the room. Okay, and so I don't feel bad broadcasting all over the internet because it's free, and hey, it's no charge. They do have pay ones. They have pay.
Right.
So I'm thinking, Chad, patron only for the pay room.
That could be interesting.
Because then, it's not going live to the world. Only the patrons
Right.
are seeing it. What do you think of that idea? I was toying with that idea. Once we're finished,
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of that's what I'm toying. That's what I'm toying with. We'll see. We'll see. Because I don't want to broadcast obviously the pay rooms to the world. That's not
Right.
that's not fair. We'll see. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. More emails, Chad. We got an email. Here we
More
go.
emails.
It says, someone says, "Hello, this is Lost Ken's wife, Little Fox." Do you remember the email last week from Lost Ken, Chad?
Mm-hmm.
Do you though? Or are you just saying?
Yeah, I remember it.
Thanks for sharing ideas regarding options for adventure labs, Chad.
Mhm. Yeah, he actually got a hold of me, and so we
Oh, did he
passed
really?
emails
Oh, good
messages
for you.
back and forth. So yeah.
She says ghost tours are popular in our town, so we're thinking about that. Also, tossing around wineries. I love the idea of ghost tours. I think that's
Mhm.
a fantastic one. Winery's cool too if you can drink, but I love that idea. That's a good one. I'd go with that as an adventure lab. Hell yeah, I would do that. All right, Dad. Chad. Nice to call you Dad. DT. You know why? Because it's from DT Charlie, and I was starting with the duh. DT Charlie, Chad. Another answer.
Mhm.
This is not for you. I
Ooh.
took Chad's advice, and I now have an answer to my question about the author badge on Project GC.
Okay.
I just reached platinum level, so this weekend I did a bunch of park and grabs and simply wrote TFTC. My
Mhm.
word average went from 60 to 59, and my level did drop back down to gold.
Okay.
So
So now you got to go back and
hold on.
update those.
So the author badge is one you can lose degrees if you get lazy later in life.
Yep.
That being said, after getting my answer, I went back and edited my logs, and I'm back to platinum once.
Awesome.
So how about that, Chad? You can go down.
You can see it would have been a job for me to go back down because I'm sitting at averaging 77 words per log, and I had to drop back down.
I think I averaged 12 words per something like 12.
I had to drop back down to 69 per, and that's how many caches would that be in order to drop down that low? Because I've got over 5,000 finds coming up on 6,000. I think.
I don't know.
That's a lot.
All right, Chad, that's all we got. So we're gonna welcome in guys tonight. We have the Cacher Spirit Guide. His name is Ron. He's the inventor or the creator of the Geooh GO app for Android.
Mhm.
Bring him in right now. Let's just unmute him. Ron, hello. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm cold, but I'm good.
Yeah, me too. I know the feeling. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are. Tell us how many caches you got. Let's meet you before we meet the app.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Ron. You said that my caching name is Spirit Guide. I've been doing this since 2007. I've got over 12,000 finds, and pretty much all of them have been with some version of the Geooh app. So I've gone through several iterations. I've been working on it for as long as I've been caching. So it's been
Really?
like,
Wow,
12
really?
years
Wow.
out. So I mainly started it for myself, and then at some point I decided, after the API came out and after Groundspeak released one of their versions, I thought, well, I'm going to publish it and make it more accessible to others. So I've been doing that for many years now.
Really? So when did you make it available? So it didn't become available for everybody in the Google store until you became.
Well, it probably was 2009. Maybe there was a version out there.
Was that pre the geocaching app, the GC app? When did that come?
It was about this.
Well, not CGO, no, the actual
Okay.
GC.
Oddly, I had
Yeah.
some email correspondence with Brian from Groundspeak about the app because I was working on it, and I asked if they were going to have one, but they were working on their own. So at one point it was a free app, and then I turned it into a paid app. And after Groundspeak released their second version of their API, I really started beefing it up, and been accelerating in terms of functions and features for the last 5 or 6 years, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty cool. And I'm assuming this is what you do for a living.
Well, no, I'm kind of retired, and this is kind of a hobby / sort of some money making. I do apps as kind of a side business. And
in your past life, were you a developer in your past life?
Yeah, I mean, I was in software development. I was IT director. I was a consultant. I'd gone through a bunch of things. And so when it came to time to retire, I started working on apps. And again, I jumped in on a geocaching app primarily for myself initially, and then just kept going from there.
Wow. Okay. So let's get started on this. Again, like I said, I've never used the app. I apologize. I'm an Apple user. Chad is an Android user.
Yes.
Has used the app. Chad, what'd you think of the app? Let's give us.
So I like it. I mean, it is more. I would say so. I'm going to preface this with I've been using CGO since 2010. So when you get used to a system, it's kind of difficult to move over to another system. But I would say for a new user, someone who uses a lot of apps, that kind of thing, the interface is really intuitive and really easy to use. There's a lot of things that I loved about it. One of the things that I love about it is the filters that you have in there. You can filter on pretty much just about everything. So that was one of the things that I noticed immediately and was like, oh, this is awesome. This is a great idea. The compass mode on that, with the map under it. So you got the compass up there and you're looking at the compass, but you also got the map underneath.
Oh, really? Oh, that's kind of, well, that's nice.
Did you try rotating the phone horizontal and vertical and the map disappears? And the compass will disappear. So if you've got a map and the overlay of the compass, if you have it flat like a compass, all you see is the compass. As you rotate it vertical,
wow,
the compass disappears and the map comes back into view.
Really?
So it's an easy way that you can have the compass and a map at the same time. Right. So you want to look at the map, you just raise the phone vertically.
Wow.
If you just want to look at the compass, you lower it down.
Jess, you hearing this?
Yeah, I did. I guess I didn't go all the way flat, and maybe so I didn't say it goes strictly to compass. And that's the way I normally have my phone. Is kind of like more like at about a 45 when I'm out caching.
I love that idea.
So, but that's a great idea. So yeah,
that's
now if I want to go strictly, I can go. Okay, that's cool.
But have you tried if you're in the compass mode and you bring another app up, the compass goes into a picture-in-a-picture mode where it shows a tiny compass at the bottom of the screen, so that you can play Pokemon at the same time.
Oh, get out of town!
No, you can. So you have the Geo compass overlaid on top of Pokemon or any other app. So you could be watching the compass at the same time you're doing something else.
So live caches, I guess. Yeah, that would be.
Wow.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Cool to have that up with live cache. Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I haven't used it a lot. I've used it some. What I've seen, I definitely do like. One of the things that I wanted to get to take a look at was the Where I Go player that you have integrated into there, but I unfortunately ran out of time and I didn't pull in a cartridge to go play. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, tell me about that. How did you even do that?
That kind of the Where I Go player on Android has been a very poorly maintained, archaic looking app that didn't function. So at one time I got frustrated also. I'm going to do my own Where Go player. So I use some of the open source stuff that the Android Where Go player used, and just built a more modern interface on top of it. So the Where Go player in Geo is fully integrated. So you go from geocaching to Where Go without having to open up another app. And it's kind of nice because when you have a Where Go cache, the app can identify the link inside the description without you even having to open the description for the cache. And so it will download the Where Go cartridge and then immediately say, do you want to play it? So it simplifies having to be able to use and download cartridges. And it knows the link. It uses the new Groundspeak API. So unlike the other Where Go player, you have to enter your credentials, and Groundspeak made it much easier to download. And I think Cachely does it, or the iOS version of Where Go uses the API to download cartridges.
Yes.
But unlike before, instead of having to go into description and try to hunt down for a Where Go link, the app identifies it for you and then downloads it.
So I'm someone that likes to do things offline a lot. And so can you go ahead and download the cartridges ahead of time? And because I didn't look into that, whether you can do the cartridges ahead of time and have them stored in there. Will it pick those up?
Yeah, when you download a cartridge, then you open the Where Go player. And from there, you can open up any cartridge that you have previously downloaded or started to play. So it's, I mean, it's just like a regular Where Go app, where once you've downloaded the cartridges, they stay there, and you open up a little file browser that will show you which cartridges you have downloaded. And then when you open one, if it's been played before, it asks, do you want to restore the previous saved version or start a new game?
Okay.
And again, it's all fully integrated without having to go to multiple apps.
That's
Right. That's nice.
And the chat room keeps talking about a TB feature. What is a TB feature? The travel.
Well, it's got a built. It's kind of the same thing. As I get frustrated at times. So I built a trackable scanner into the app. So from the app, if you're out and you see a TB, you can open up the scanner, and it will look for the tracking code, and then open up the details about the trackable. There's also a built-in bulk logger, and so instead of using the website that log them all or something like that, you can keep track of all the trackables you scanned and keep them in there. You can do visits automatically when you log a geocache. You can have it automatically log visits for trackables you have with you. So it's a fully functioning bulk logger scanner. There's separate apps out there that can do scanning, but I think this one does it much better.
So I like the ability to also attach images to the TB drops and visits when you're doing it, because that's something I haven't seen anywhere else. It's like you got to go home and, or at least from maybe someone else has it out there, but from my experience is like you want to upload an image for it. I've always had to do it online. So.
Yeah, it's using some of the latest Google machine learning technology. So when you open up the scanner, you immediately see it starting scanning, and it puts red boxes around potential codes. If it hits on a code that fits the TB tracking code pattern, it puts a green box around it. So it keeps scanning. You see all these scanning all around, and then at some point you see that it's scanned enough, and that the most likely scan is the TB code that's on the trackable.
I want to go back to filters for a second. We just grazed it.
Right.
let's talk about filters. So
Yeah,
tell us around.
it's kind of nice that you can filter on pretty much anything in an offline list. So every time you add a filter, it shows what filters are on at the bottom of the screen, and you can kind of turn that filter on and off. So if you've got multiple filters for the list, you see these little chips at the bottom of the screen, and you can click on the chip to kind of negate it and say, I'm going to still see it. The filters stay with that offline list. So when you exit out and you come back in, you can leave the app, come back into the app, open that offline list again, and the filters are back on. And when you open the map, it's using the same filters as it displays.
Oh, really? So it remembers.
Yes.
Really? That's kind of nice. Wow. And so you've been doing this since 2007? Is that what you said? Remember?
Yes.
That's a long time to have an app.
Yeah, I've been caching since 2007. I started the app in 2007.
And so how many versions? What version are you on? Just out of curiosity.
12.
12?
Every year. I mean,
Every year.
It coincides with Android versions. So Android is on its 12th release, and so is the Geooh GO app. So when Android came out, I started working on the app at the same time. So every year after a major Android release, I release a major Geooh release to start taking advantage of the latest Android features. So it's always up to date with the latest Android technology.
And so, do you have a group of people that beta you, or is it just you? Just like,
I've gone up and down with betas. So I've had betas at different moments when I've got some really significant things to test. I've also got people who regularly beat on the app, and so they constantly give me feedback about it. But mostly, since I geocache quite a bit, I'm always going off onto little geocaching trips and writing myself notes. If you talk to anybody I geocache with, they're always making comments about I'm always recording something as we're out geocaching. And it's all, I can also joke, I'm kind of a lazy geocacher. So anytime I find something that's too much effort, I try to find a way to automate it.
There you go. That's a smart.
And I think I did. That's why the app has so many features. It's because I'm kind of lazy.
Well, I think one of those, and I love it, is the button to show upcoming events that are nearby, because that's something. It's like, where the hell's that event? And I've got to filter down, find the events, and select it to go to the event. While here it's just you hit the button. Events nearby, or was it events nearby, or something like that on there?
Yeah, it's nearby. I mean, there's some built-in offline lists that when you click it, it's kind of automatic to display things. So events is one of them, and if you open up the details of a particular event, it actually tells you how many days away the event is.
Right.
Because I've had that problem where it gives a date and I miss it because I didn't realize it was tomorrow. So or a couple of days. So when you look at the cache description, it says the date of the event, and it says it's like 2 days away.
And it doesn't show up the events that were in the past. I opened it up today, looking at it, and all the Tuesday events, because we had 4 Tuesday events in my area, were gone from the list. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So you're not wasting your time looking at
there's a nearby list which would also show the events there, but the events offline list only does from today forward.
Right. And then there's also the button to show the newest place caches nearby. So if you're
that's kind of nice.
It's so for first to find hounds, that's kind of helpful, I think. But
it
also
highlights caches which haven't been found. So you can quickly identify FTF potential.
Right. So now I wanted to ask exactly about the offline caches and how they work. So I was able to download a GPX file pretty easily. Not a problem there. But when I go to, so if I hit live map, does it pull in the stuff that I have that I pulled in from a GPX that's in there, or do you have kind of like a disable live so that ability so that it's not pulling data if you're in an area where so I used to travel out of the country a lot, and I would turn data off.
Well, live has got some different variations of itself. You were talking earlier about CGO. Sometimes I think that people struggle with the Geooh GO is that there's a whole paradigm shift in how the app works, and
Right.
it's mainly an offline list centric app. So on the home screen, you just see a lot of lists that you've either created or some of the system built ones. And these offline lists can be anything that you want for a particular trip, or keeping track of caches you're watching, or something like that. So every time you create a list on that home screen, they're all offline.
Okay.
And then unless you've downloaded it in light mode, there still won't be everything there. But if you download lists in offline mode, you can go completely offline. The live option is just a live map. So it will immediately pop up the previous location. By default, it opens up from the previous location you had the live open.
Yeah.
And it shows you the previous caches that were in live. In the background, it still goes out and checks to see if there's anything new. So you don't have to do a refresh.
Okay.
But then you can also have a setting to have live follow you, so wherever you're at, it opens up live at that location.
Yeah, I found that setting very quickly. I love the way you got the settings, all the settings for everything in that one page, so I can kind of scroll through there and pick and choose how I had those settings done. So yeah, that was nicely done in my opinion.
Yeah, you can configure the app to your caching style. There's almost too many settings options. But if there's something you want
for someone who's new to it. Yeah, that it could be overwhelming.
Make sure everyone understands this is for advanced geocaching. It requires a premium membership. It's not for basic members or light caching. It's really designed for the power user, the power geocacher.
Can we talk about maps? Have you talked about maps yet? Sorry, I
not yet.
Okay, maps. A lot of people are talking about county maps, terrain maps, offline maps. Let's talk about that.
Terrain maps are awesome in there.
There's by default there's Google Maps. I've also got a geocaching style of Google Maps. So it tries to minimize junk that normally you see on a Google map with points of interest and restaurants and gas stations.
Mm-hmm.
So it tries to clean up the view. So we primarily see cache icons, not other stuff. So I try to do it more clean. So beyond the Google Maps, you can also have offline maps using MapsForge, OpenStreetMaps. So you can go completely offline with maps. You can also use a map tile server. So it's still kind of live, but it's using a different service to put maps. And so some of maps that are kind of more outdoors oriented or trail oriented, you can find tile servers that do that.
And what about
the hybrid mode map is also very, very good. I've seen a lot of hybrid mode maps where it's just kind of clunky, but I think the hybrid mode map in here is also really nice. Sorry.
Yeah, it's got a dark mode map. So the app, it's got a dark mode, and if you go in dark mode on the app, the map turns dark also. So and then icons. The default cache icons are the ground speak icons. but they've got a little border around it and an arrow. So if you change the color of the map to dark, there's a white border around the icon, so you can quickly identify the geocaches on the map. And if it's just a regular non-dark mode, there's a black border around the icons.
Okay.
And you mentioned Scott. You mentioned county lines. Yes. That's I think one of the big things that a lot of people like about Geooh GO is its county capabilities. You're county hunters, so a lot of apps will show county boundaries. Geooh goes a step further in that it also puts in the county name on the map itself, so you can kind of see it pretty big.
Oh wow, that's kind of nice.
So when you're looking at the map, you will see county lines. You will see the county name, and if you've done a find in a county, it shades that county for you automatically.
Come on.
That's great.
You can build the shading database by importing the My Find query. It will automatically build that database. You can manually shade, or you can let Geooh shade for you as you do a find. It automatically does. And if you're not even using that, if you select a cache on a map, it tells you what county it is in. It also tells you what elevation it is for that cache. If you do a long press on the map anywhere on the map, it will also do the same, tell you what the county is for that location and the elevation. So if you're a county,
that's nice.
Wow. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I got to do some long presses here.
Wow, it's funny because we just had a challenge come out in our neighborhood. Literally, that was like a high and a low, which you have to get the lowest elevation, the highest elevation. I was trying to find a lowest elevation, and I was in Florida, and I was looking for below 0, and that would have made it 1,000 times easier for me.
Yeah, well, you can talk about if you're doing a challenge cache or some kind of mystery or something, that it's got integrated challenge checkers built in, so it also examines the description to see if there's any links to the big cache checkers like Project GC Certitudes or GeoCheck, or even the HQ built-in one, and so it will automatically let you open up that checker to verify that it's you've got the right answer.
Well, all right, Ron, I've only been talking to you for less than a half an hour, but it seems like your app has everything. So I'm going to challenge you right now.
Okay.
Challenge you. It's a 2-pronged question. 1, can you see Adventure Labs on the map?
Yes.
And 2.
Well, hang on. Okay, now hang on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask the next question.
What have you done? Is there any special features surrounding Adventure Labs or anything like that that you've integrated into your Swiss Army knife of an app?
Showing stages?
Oh, you cannot see stages in your app. Don't even tell me you can. I will switch and become an Android.
Well, actually, the next release. I mean, I was going to release today, but there's a back up a little bit. Groundspeak, it's public now. Groundspeak has released updates to the API, so now we can get access to stages of Adventure.
Really? Wow. When did you do that? Ooh, I think you're letting the
just this week. So it actually went live yesterday.
Wow.
And I've got the app ready to go. Unfortunately, there's a bug on their side that it doesn't give the proper completion status for a stage. So everything says it's not completed, even though you have. So what will happen when this next release comes out, you select the Adventure Lab. And again, when you do a search, either live map or do a manual search for geocaches, you can also see Adventure Labs automatically on the map.
Mm-hmm.
You select the Adventure Lab, it will automatically pop up the labs, the stages for that. There's a feature in Geooh kind of related to waypoints that whenever you select a cache on the map, it will show all of its waypoints.
That was one of my questions.
That was one.
And so the labs for the stages also act like waypoints. You select the Adventure Lab, it shows the stages for it. And then you can kind of drill down into the details of the Adventure Lab and see the description for each lab, automatically open up the Adventure Lab app. Now, what's also going to be nice, kind of as part of waypoints, there's a setting where you can see all waypoints for all geocaches out there. So it kind of helpful if you're doing geo art. You can kind of see what the solved one is and what the original is. You can see the original geo art. So what will be an advantage is what everyone's complained about is that on Adventure Labs, if you turn that setting on, if you've got multiple Adventure Labs on the map, you'll see all of their stages, all stages for all labs. So you can quickly see which ones are nearby.
Nice. Yes.
When you select a stage, then it automatically selects that Adventure Lab. And when you do the open of the Adventure Lab, it goes to that the Adventure Lab app. It opens that particular Adventure Lab.
Makes life a lot easier
Awesome.
for people who do both at the same time.
So that, again, that's kind of clever. It's in the next release. It should be coming out in a couple days or so, or even tomorrow.
That's exciting.
That's kind of cool. That's because all if you've got it, then I'm assuming all the API guys have it as well, correct? I'm assuming it's
yes. I just I haven't heard anyone else. I had a lot of this pre-built a long time ago.
waiting,
just waiting.
Foaming at the mouth,
I
waiting
kind
for
of
it,
had
twiddling your thumb.
a Adventure Lab app built.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
No.
But I backed off of it. I told Groundspeak, no, I'm just going to do whatever they allow me to do. And so now they've got the API, and it's it's nice. It's I see this as still a first step in what they're going to open up, but eventually I think it will get better.
So I apologize to Shorty Nance, my wife. She's a big map nerd, and I totally didn't even we totally glossed over maps and whether or not she had a question for you about maps because she's a big map nerd. Jess, do you have any questions for him about the maps at all?
Well, no, I mean those the questions I had written down have already been asked. But what kind of and maybe you guys touched on this when I had stepped out for a few minutes. What sort of integration for navigation do you have? Can you link directly, for driving?
Got all in settings, you can select which navigation app you use, so that when you hit the navigate to, it opens up that app to do the navigation. And if you select that navigation app in settings, and if it's not installed, it will go out and install it for you.
Nice.
So I've got all the major navigation apps that's available.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very, very convenient for so one of my things is when I go to events, and I kind of mentioned this before, but I'm always trying to find the cache, the event in the list, and then to be able to go navigate to it. Here it was like pretty much maybe 3 presses. Hit the event or the events nearby. Pick the one that I wanted, and then tell it to navigate to it, and I was off. Yeah,
and you can navigate to waypoints and lab stages. So it's you can stay away from the Adventure Lab app until you need to log the answer.
Really? Oh, that's kind of nice.
That's kind of nice.
All right, you're batting 1,000, Ron. I'm gonna go at you again. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Geo Tours. What do you got for me with Geo Tours?
on the home screen, there's a hamburger button on the top left where you can slide it over, and that's where you select the Where I Go player. You can do your profile. There's tons of information about your profile, everything about you, and then there's also where your online list. You can see that, plus the GeoTours available. So you can look at all GeoTours from this GeoTour app component. If you're in the geocaching mode,
there you go.
You can do a download and you can select GeoTours from there. So when you do a download, you're given the option if you want to do a GPX, a pocket query, on online list or a GeoTour. And then if you select GeoTour, it goes out and finds all the GeoTours, and you tell which one you want to load up as an offline list.
Really? Wow, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Wow, you have thought of everything, Ron.
Well, you haven't seen anything yet. I think we're only like probably a fifth of what I've got is maybe
Okay,
notes.
Okay, this is what I want to do right now. Okay, this is what I want to do. A lot of people in our chat room are using this app and they love it. Everybody loves it. Okay, what I want to focus on for the next 5 to 10 minutes, give me a couple of feet. Give me 2 or 3 features that they're not using, that they don't know about, that is so hidden they don't know about it. That is going to blow their mind.
One of the newer things that came in 12 is a formula solver.
A
So
formula
on
solver.
some kind of on a mystery or whatever, you've got where you got to find information, and you've got a formula for the coordinates, and so you've got to plug in those numbers or the letters for the formula, and then get the final location. So Geo can examine and see there's a potential formula there, and then pre-build a formula sheet which lists all the variables in that formula, and all you have to do is answer it, and then it will calculate the coordinates, and then let you send that off to the final coordinates. So again, that's like that lazy thing. I don't like writing things down. So as you're working on these formulas, they're saved with the cache.
So it's got a puzzle solver, or like a puzzle solver in there feature.
Yes, yeah, I call it the formula solver
in the app,
and it's yes, built in the app. So it like for any cache that has a potential formula in it, you can have identified, and you see the formula, you see the variables that it needs to add. You can put some kind of algebraic components to the variable. So if variable C is 10 plus A, you put that in as the potential solution, and then you do a calculate or solve, and it will solve it for you.
Okay, Ron, give me another one.
Along the same lines, there's again, lazy on earth caches and virtuals.
Yeah.
It will also let you create answers and store the answers. So if you're working on answers for earth caches, let's say, you plug them into this answer sheet, and that stays with the cache, so you can work on earth caches one day and come back to it. And then when you're ready, it will ask if you want to send the answers via email or the message center,
right?
And then it will populate the message you're sending to the owner with the cache number, cache name, and then your answers. Again, you don't need paper anymore.
But does it? You don't have the message center built in, though, right? You have to go out.
It looks pretty much like, because all I do is I bring up a mini web view of the message center. So it's a little window inside the app that's got the website for the message center, but it doesn't have things like notifications that you've got a message. But you can interact with the message center just like you would in the official app.
Wow, that's kind of nice.
That's nice.
Chad, you're an earth cacher. Do you agree it's easier?
That would definitely be a tool that I would utilize.
Chad's mind is blown.
That is so. No more printing out pages for that stuff.
How about routes? On the map, you can select caches and create a route. So if you select one cache and hit this button, it will show you the route to it. You can select multiple caches to show an optimized route to all those caches. You can also you can also create the route from an offline list. So you're on the home screen, you got an offline list. You can tell Geo to create optimized route to all the caches in that list. So every time you open up the map for that offline list, it shows you the route that's been optimized for it.
Really?
So
And I
so
assume
the
you have.
route
I assume you have a circular path option and a from there until the end, a beginning and end.
when you create a route, you have the option of doing a starting and ending point, like starting and ending cache. By default, it does it from your location to the furthest cache out there.
Okay.
So it just takes a list of all the caches and your location and automatically creates the route from there to get all of them.
Awesome.
All right, Ron, you've been touting this whole show how you're a lazy cacher.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out how lazy you are. Are you ready?
Right.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna throw you one again. If you say yes to this, you're the laziest cacher I've ever heard. Here we go. A solver in your app for reverse where I go.
Right. No, you can just do the where I go.
I got him.
You can just bring up the where I go player. Well,
I got him.
Okay. Well, maybe the next time I'm on the show, you might have that.
Reverse where I go. Solver.
I'll have to think about that.
There you go. Look at me.
That actually might be something to do.
All right.
That wouldn't be too hard to do.
He was batting 1,000 for way too long.
To be honest.
Yeah, a big number of the features in the app are from people like you that just kind of say, I'd like to see this. And, okay. Or you're challenging me. And I'm like, okay.
That route feature sounds amazing. Honestly, it does. That Jesse would love that.
When we go out to do, like the cache across the county things when they come out every year, it's like you have to download them all and figure out a route, and having that built right in would be a huge time saver.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
How about this? Go ahead.
I was going to ask if does it take into consideration like the parking coordinates automatically, or would it be navigating to the cache parking?
If you're doing a route for like an offline list, it will go get all the parking coordinates. And if you got multiple coordinates, it tries to get the closest one, so it doesn't know how to choose which one. So you can also, if I recall, when you're working from the map directly, you can say the app will say it's got parking coordinates. Do you want to use it, or the coordinates of the cache? But it takes into consideration parking coordinates instead of the cache coordinates.
That's great. One more reason caches should always have parking coordinates. Drives me crazy.
Yes. I'll bring something up that it's kind of. It was going to be the big feature in the current version, but it kind of got sidelined. Android Auto. I had it built, and it's still in there, to where the Android Auto in your car's head unit that is displays. I had a Geooh component to that. So that, but it really kind of worked for nearby caches. So as you're driving around, it would start showing caches dynamically on the head unit, and let you get information about it. The problem, I called it a parking app for geocaches because Google and even Apple are very restrictive on what you can do. So I was labeling it as a parking app, and it got through initially, and then later versions of the app, I guess a different Google reviewer didn't think it was really a parking app, so they made me pull it out. But they said that there's a future version of Android Auto which is going to allow you to do points of interest apps. So they're kind of saying I can put it back in when that comes up. But it was kind of like when you're talking about parking coordinates, that I was trying to make it a parking app for Android Auto, and it didn't fly completely.
That would be nice.
Yeah. It was using this feature of nearby cache notifications. So you can turn nearby cache notifications on. So as you're driving around, it starts popping up notifications on your phone that there's a nearby cache, and kind of gives you the information about it. So you could be in any other app, it doesn't matter. It shows you on the Android notification bar, and so you can select it, and it will install that cache and list. So it's kind of a way, see nearby caches, and I was going to use that as part of the Android Auto component.
Okay, Chad, you were about to say something.
I was thinking. So I'm the type of person that likes to make his own routes. So if I had to make a route and I decided I really wanted to change the order of some things, would it?
Yes.
You can slide them around. Okay. Yes.
What you do is on the map, you go into selection mode, and then you start selecting the caches you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gives you the option when you're ready to route it. It gives you the option: do you want to do an optimized route or use the route or the order of selection? So you can start selecting the caches that you want to go to, regardless of whether it's optimized or not. So,
okay. And once you've selected them in that order, it saves it, and so if I'm doing this at home for a trip I'm taking 2 weeks from now, I can get it all set up at home and it's ready to go. Or
I'll verify. I'm going to say tentatively yes.
Okay.
Because I know when you do a route for an entire offline list, it sticks with, and I'm pretty sure it sticks with a manually created one from the map. I'll verify.
Okay.
And again, if it's not, it will be there.
Okay.
Ron, anything else you want to hit upon that we have not touched tonight?
Some of the nice stuff I've done is that on the home screen you can click on the top bar, which has your geocaching name and your find stats, and it will tell you what your daily stats are. So I've had this where I'm out caching with someone. Go, how many did we find today?
Oh, come on, Ron! You are a lazy cacher. Wow, that's amazing.
I know. So you click it. It tells you how many caches you found by.
He doesn't want to count. He doesn't want to count logs.
And by hour.
Awesome.
And by hour?
And by hour?
No, not by the owner.
By the owner.
It will show you how many caches by owner or by for that day, and you can also give it a date range. So if you've been on a geocaching trip and you've been several days out geocaching, you want to say, okay, how many did we find over this weekend? You can
fantastic. That is fantastic.
Have the app do that.
Fantastic.
There's some. I mean, there's some fun things with the cache. I try to make it fun where there's animation and sounds. A lot of people kind of like this. When you do a find, the app will go ta-da. It makes
fun.
So you get this positive feedback that you were successful.
That the millennials need. So, they need.
Yeah, so you get a little ta-da, and if you did a DNF, it kind of gives kind of buzzes you that didn't like that. You can also have it speak hints. So there's often that when you're on the map, you select a cache, it briefly shows you the hint written. But there's an option to speak it. So you can select the cache and it will tell you what the hint is. Particularly if it's a long hint, you just listen to it as it reads it to you. And I've done that I'm caching with someone and they're listening to the same hints. I mean, they don't even have to look at their phone. They're just listening with you. Yeah. Speak the hint. There's a offline worker where if the network's not available, it does kind of a pending internally, so that Android's watching when the network comes back, and then when it comes back, then the app automatically sends the.
That's nice.
So it kind of tells you that's been queued up for you. So when the network comes back, it will send it for you automatically.
The whole chat room wants to know when you're creating an iPhone version.
I think you get the same answer when you ask Nick on Ashley when he's going to be an Android person. It ain't going to happen. So you can do what I know some people have done. They get a cheap Android phone.
That's what Chad did that for.
To use Cashly, I got a used iPhone and hotspot on my phone and
hotspot mode. You can.
So you can go the other way.
I might need to do that with my son's burner phone.
Is that Android? The burner phone?
Yeah.
I think I might have officially been converted from CGO.
Oh, no, you've been
over
using
to
CGO
Go.
forever.
I've been using it for 12 years now.
Yeah.
And,
So I've
I've
had one
tried lots of
success.
things, but nothing has swayed me. If I was an iOS user, yes, I would use Cashly, but now Geooh GO has it's got everything
I think
want.
I'm only still there's a tons of stuff sometimes I forget, and I'm out with somebody and oh yeah, the app does this. And I forgot about it.
I love the fact that it's built out of you being a lazy cacher. That's genius because like it's so many things that everybody wants, but like it's 2 or 3 steps to get to. You're like, it's too many steps. You know, like you just
Right.
like I'm assuming, Ron, because we're cut from the same cloth. I'm also a lazy cacher. I'm going to assume you have it already. So if I go to a cache page and I see people who've logged DNFs, I want to know if they're new cachers or not. So I have to look up their stats. Are there stats right there so I can see how many finds they have?
When you on the map, it will tell you if the previous log was a DNF. So it's got a DNF or a potential FDF badge on the cache icon on the map.
But what? But
You
I like.
select.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, if you select the cache, it tells you briefly shows you a list of the log icons, so you can kind of see there's a series of
Sure.
DNFs.
Sure.
If you select and open up the cache and in the log, it tells you what the finds are for the log. So
Mhm.
so when you look at a log for a cache, you'll see how many finds the logger has. So I've kind of used that to say, maybe
Exactly.
It's
If
there.
they got 6
Yeah.
finds,
So if it's a
that's not it.
DNF and they have two finds.
Let's go stop and take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And that was kind of another lazy
wondering.
thing.
Yeah, I know. Total lazy thing.
I
Oh,
was
absolutely.
wondering about that because I was seeing DNFs on my caching page. Was like, I didn't DNF that, and now I understand it's the last log. It had been
Right.
DNF.
If it has a DNF badge, if it says DNF, that means the previous log was a DNF. If
Right.
you DNF'd it, then it's a blue icon, a frowny.
Okay.
Which matches what Groundspeak
Groundspeak
does.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. And so same thing. It will also show badges for lonely caches.
Oh, nice. There you go. What
Can you
about
change what that
define-
setting is for lonely cache?
Yeah, in settings, you'd say how many days
Mm-hmm.
is considered
Nice.
lonely. By default, it's a year.
Mm-hmm.
What about FT? What
And
about
I'm
FTF?
assuming you have FTF badge too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
So if you download a cache in full mode, which you have to have the full mode to get the data from
Mhm.
Groundspeak, and if it has no found logs, it will put an FTF badge. It will also highlight the background in yellow on a list, so you very quickly see a potential FTF that you can go for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's an example where.
Okay, hold on, Chad. Let me put you on the main screen here. Hold on a second. Let me main screen you there. All right, go ahead.
So you can see on there a DNF that was the last one, or no, I don't think there's a DNF on there. There's one where I DNF'd on there,
Mhm.
and well, maybe if I can get to focus.
Get you out of there. There you go. You got
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, and then you can see the caches where I have solved, and some caches where I found on there. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
If you download it in full, and if there is a previous log that was a DNF, you'll have a DNF badge. So you may need to verify that. So that's the official Groundspeak app always downloads in light mode, which means it only gets basic information, which explains why it can be very fast. When you download full, it takes a little longer to get all the data, but then you start turning on a bunch of features inside the app that takes the power of having all that data available. The FTF and DNF badges, for instance. When you're doing, I'm kind of rambling here, but when you have the compass open and you're navigating to a cache with a compass, it also has a proximity alert. It starts
Oh.
pinging like a submarine. So the closer you get,
No
the
way.
more frequent the pings get.
Very nice.
So as you're walking, you can
Like
do that. It also there's a Wear OS, which is a watch, Android watch
yeah.
version of this, so that you just have the watch start doing the navigation with its compass and pinging, and you don't have to have your phone in hand. So
Wow.
you're getting,
Wow.
or if you're riding a bike and you're hearing the
Mhm.
pings occur as you're riding, you don't have to hold the phone in your hand.
See,
To do
I
that.
tried doing that back in 2014, I want to say, with the early Wear OS ones. There was someone that created an app, and with my watch, the compass was was always having issues on it. But I'm gonna have to try it out with yours. And
Yeah, I
I
kind of
found
view
some
the watch
lonely
as a
caches out here, by
companion.
the way. So
The what?
I
Some
found some
lonely-
lonely caches on the
Oh,
map.
okay.
But I know whose caches those are, and they're lonely for a reason.
Someone wants you to please explain in detail how to use the offline maps. In detail, Mary.
Well, in settings, there's an alternative maps option, which when you select that, then it kind of starts turning off Google Maps and lets you select the alternative map, either that tile server I mentioned or an offline map. And then you can download any offline map, which is kind of like the Maps Forge OSM type maps. I don't restrict what type of offline map you can download. It kind of takes a little bit more effort on the user's part to. I give a list of providers for offline maps, and then you download those into any folder directory on the phone, and then you tell Geo to use that folder for the offline maps. So then once you've selected offline maps, downloaded the an offline map and pointed to it, it starts displaying
Wow.
when you open the map.
Nice. And then just the GPX file will overlay over that.
Pardon me?
And then a GPX file would just overlay over that, I'm assuming, correct?
Oh yeah. All the caches in an offline list will overlay.
Right.
And now that you brought overlays, let's talk about that. You can overlay any KML or GeoJSON overlay on top of the map. So, in particular, one that's kind of popular is the DeLorme Challenge
Sure.
overlays.
Mhm.
So you could see the DeLorme boundaries on top of the map.
Nice.
So
Wow. Nice.
any map, Google Maps or the offline maps, or any other kind of overlay that you got for whatever reason. You can also create a GPX track. So you turn on tracking, and as you're walking, it starts recording your path that you took, and records as a GPX track. And I think the value in this is if you've bushwhacked it somewhere and you're trying to get back to your car.
Yeah, sure.
We've all gotten turned around.
You can at least see the path you took, which may not have been the wisest, but
Yeah, a
you
GPS
can
user used to do
still-
this. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you can use the GPX track that you made, or you can load up other third-party GPX tracks. I know a lot of biking websites have GPX tracks that others have built. You could load those over any map in the app to see them at the same time you're looking at caches.
Nice.
That's pretty amazing, Ron. All right, Ron, how do I get this tremendous app of yours?
Well, it's in the Google Play Store. And like I said, it requires a premium membership, and I've had a lot of complaints by some CGO users I won't mention that feel like everything should be basic, but no, it's just designed for advanced geocaching, and it's in the Google Play Store. There's an enhanced version of it that requires a subscription for $2 a year ongoing, and that pays for the third-party services that I use. For example, routing. That's not free. I go out and I think I use a Microsoft service to give me the route. And so I have to pay these third party and my own server costs. So it's,
how much does the app cost? What does the app cost?
$5.99 for the app, for the base app.
Totally
the
fair.
subscription is 99 cents every 6 months.
Okay. And what does the subscription get you? What does the subscription get you?
It gets several enhanced features. There's the county overlays, the routing, offline. I think the watch. There's a few of them. The bulk of the features that require ongoing cost for me are included in the subscription. But again, only 99 cents a month, and you can turn the subscription on and off as you wish. So if you're not going to be caching for a while, just turn it off.
Right.
But it's only 99 cents every 6 months.
All right, so it's what is that? $12 a year plus $2 plus. So for
No,
under
no,
50,
it's only $5.99 one time.
It's a one-time fee, and then you said 99 cents. 99 cents a month.
No, every 6
Oh,
months.
Oh, every 6
Every
months.
6 months.
So
Oh,
$2 a
Basically,
year.
$2 a year for the
$2 a
enhanced
year. Wow.
subscription.
People are complaining about $2 a year. People are actually
well,
fighting
I
about
know.
$2 a year.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, there are people that complain about that. But yeah, the purchase is one time. The subscription is ongoing to help pay for the third party service costs that I
For
deal
everything
with.
that thing does. Yeah, come on. Yeah, you gotta. Everybody looks at these apps now and they're like 99 cents. I'm not paying 99 cents for that. It's amazing, and that if it was in a
And
store,
then they go out and get a coffee for
yeah, I know. They pay
$8 when they're drinking their coffee. I'm not paying for any app.
$8 for their cup of coffee. Literally, yeah, a day. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Ron, it was a pleasure. Your app sounds amazing. I wish I was an Android user. So it's a pleasure. We had a lot of people in our chat room that I hope you go back and read it, because a lot of them were praising your app.
Definitely.
Very much. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much. When's the new version coming out, just in case these people don't know?
Well, the version 12, the major release, came out in January.
So it just came out. Okay.
Yeah. So the next release, which includes the lab stages, will be out any day now.
With the lab stages. Nice. You might be.
That's exciting.
You might be the first one there, because, like you say, you already had it pre-built more or less. So you might.
Yeah,
be,
I think I'm
the first one out the gate. Yeah.
That they've put it into the staging website last week, Friday or something like that. But then they made it active in production yesterday, and then I found a problem with the data, so I've notified them.
Ron, thank you so much for coming on the show, buddy. We appreciate it very, very
Thank you for having me.
No, please. Pleasure is all ours. Thank you so much. Hold on one second, okay?
All right.
Hold on one sec. Chad.
Yes, sir.
Next week.
Next week
is March, Chad.
March.
Crazy.
Hey,
Already March.
drink some coffee.
It's already what? Oh, that's right. We're
Cash
drinking coffee. It's the first week of March, Chad. You know what that means, kid? Tell me what that means.
Means cash or coffee.
Means cash or coffee, guys. Beginning of March, beginning of the month is cash or coffee time. So, guys, that's next month is a March cash or coffee. Anything you guys want to talk about, we can talk about, as long as it's geocaching related. So that's next month. Ron, thank you so much for coming on. Great, guys. Geooh GO app. If you are an Android user, highly recommend the Geooh GO app. We've just been talking about it for an hour. Sounds like an amazing app. It really, really does. Chad, you might have a converter with Chad.
Yes.
I might have to go back.
That's a hard sell.
Do you remember?
Oh,
My awful, horrible decision that I made many years ago to switch from Android to iOS?
Oh, she loved it. She loved it. She loves her iPhone. Please. All right, guys. Thank you so much. The chat room, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Ron, again, thank you. Jesse, Chad, thank you so much. Let's close this show. Here we go. Please join us again every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central as we stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website, geocachingpodcast.com. The archive video versions of our podcast are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on your favorite package. If you like the show, please head over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, make sure you click the subscribe or get notified buttons to know exactly when we go live. And hey, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you get a ton of additional information, extra video, extra audio, only available to our patron members. Please head over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cashly, Logwork, FTF Geocacher Magazine, the Maxon's Body Company, Practical Geocaching, Arted Crafted, and PathX.com. Please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, you tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week. So we'll see you next week talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones, and we will talk to you guys next week. And we are clear. There we go, guys. All right, audience. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We will talk to you guys. No show this Saturday, so we'll talk to you guys next Wednesday. You be well and be safe. We'll talk to you guys soon.